At 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Van Dyke.
And I'm Justin Betty. We may not have a ton of snow outside, but windy conditions and icy roads continue to lead some very tricky travel conditions across the region tonight.
Take a look at some of these photos and videos Valley News Live viewers are sharing with us. We've seen a jackknife semi on I-94 near Jamestown. Another video shows a semi completely tipped over on I-94 near New Salem.
Yeah, and one man seriously hurt after rolling his vehicle several times in Valley City. Authorities say 30-year-old William Smith was approaching I-94 in the Gore area when he lost control. In this case, the driver was also charged with a DUI.
And 2 people are hurt after a crash on Highway 10 in Moorhead. Authorities say the driver was on her way to an oil change when she lost control on the ice. They say the vehicle crashed into a road sign, then went into a steep ditch and landed upside down. No citations were issued.
So let's take a look now at the current travel conditions across the state. Yellows you see here on the map, that's where there's at least some scattered ice on the road. The purple is scattered snow. A busy day to end our First Alert Weather Day. For more on what Mother Nature has in store for us next, we go now to First Alert Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Hutch.
Justin, thanks so much. Our First Alert Weather Day does continue as we're wrapping things up. A couple of things to keep in mind, though. The temperatures are on their way down, so the layers of snow that the wind really blew over the top of the road surfaces are going to freeze. We're still going to have icy roads, and tomorrow there's more flakes that will fly. Check out our series of sky cameras here as we look into the Fargo area. Things not as greasy as they were, but flakes still flying horizontally out at the Dakota Magic Casino right here. That's exit 1 on Interstate 29. It's windy with low clouds in Grand Forks, a little clearer in the Devil's Lake area as we head into the evening hours. So we want you to keep in mind icy roads in the morning. More wind and blowing snow and icy roads will be in your forecast for Friday, believe it or not. But these clear skies we're seeing out to the west going to lead to some mighty cold temperatures. Winds peaked today, 40 miles per hour out to the west, plenty near 30 to 35 here in the valley. Again, just a few flakes showing up on the radar as we head into the evening hours. Our winds currently still gusting to 30 miles per hour, reducing visibility to 1 mile in the FM area and other areas in the Lakes Country as well. Your planner for the overnight hours looks mighty cold. Our wind will relent just a little bit as we will get very close to 0 degrees and wind chills first thing in the morning, 10 to 20 degrees below zero. Now the flakes won't be flying first thing, but rest assured, they've become a consistent part of our forecast, and they will once again be so on Friday. Details in a moment.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thanks, Hutch.
Yep.
New tonight at 10, North Dakota Supreme Court justices today heard testimony about what they should do with convicted killer Chad Isaac's appeal.
The Mandan RJR murders drew national attention. Isaac made his way through trial last year. Now this appeal, though, is really a first of its kind in the state since Isaac was later found dead, hanging in his cell earlier this year. The judge is now trying to decide whether it's fair to continue with the appeal or not.
There's a dual interest of crime victims. There's a competing interest of defendants' families and estates. And so the states that choose to continue the appeal essentially are balancing those two interests.
A criminal judgment can stand without an appeal, and it still can stand without an opinion post-appeal. So ultimately, dismissing an appeal does not automatically require this court to dismiss all of the underlying proceedings, including the underlying criminal judgment.
Since the state hasn't heard a case like this before, as you kind of heard there, they're looking at how other states have handled similar situations. However, 14 states also have no case law on this type of issue.
New information tonight on Sanford's proposed merger. Sanford Health has signed a non-binding letter of intent to combine with Fairview Health Services, adding it plans to close the deal next year. Sanford Health CEO Bill Gasson would be the CEO of this whole new system, still called Sanford. Fairview CEO James Hereford would serve as co-CEO for 1 year after the close of the deal. Today, the Minnesota Nurses Association announced it opposes the whole thing. It cites concerns over what it says its payouts and or raises to executives would be, recent closures of hospitals, and lack of resources for nursing staff. They're demanding a seat at the table.
The beginnings of the holiday season are a perfect time to share the joy of giving to others.
Valley News Team's Kellen Harmon shows us how one grandmother is carrying on her son's name, helping children in need this holiday season.
The loss of a loved one is a tragic experience that unfortunately touches most throughout their lifetime. But one beautiful thing that can come from that pain is their family, friends, and the community they call home, continuing their memory and helping others in their name.
I just don't want Jason to be a sad statistic, you know what I mean, because he's much more than that.
That is the case for Jason Devine, who was tragically killed in a drunk driving accident nearly 4 years ago. And one person giving it all to carry on Jason's name is Nancy Morgan, Jason's grandma, or Nana, as they say.
Jason loved life. He loved everything about life. There wasn't one thing that he didn't. And to give back to the community who has given so much to me.
In the days since the accident, Morgan spends her time helping kids, from little goodie bags called Jason Smiles, and more seasonally has a project called PJs for Jay, where she collects pajamas for a month during the holidays to donate to the YMCA for children in need. But this year, Morgan says that need is greater than ever.
The last 3 years, Nancy, maybe we could do the size 10s through 12s, or, the 12s through 14. No, this year is newborn to that teenage year.
While Morgan has no problem taking on this task by herself, she's got some helping hands from friends, strangers, Jason's brothers, and most of all, Jason.
I know in my soul Jason is happy. He knows what his Nana's capable of, and I will move mountains. And he's telling me, Nana, go as high as you can.
In Fargo, Kellen Harmon, Valley News Live.
Morgan is accepting donations until December 16th.
If you want to donate new pajamas to PJs for Jay, you can find the mailing address and drop-off event information right on our story. It's on valleynewslive.com or your VNL News app.
The deputy that ran for Cass County Sheriff this year and lost is now leaving the department. Cass County Sheriff Jesse Johnner says Deputy Matt King will not receive a deputy appointment for 2023. Every employee of the department is up for reevaluation each year. Johnner says King does not fit the mission of the sheriff's office. King has worked in law enforcement since 2011. His last day with the department will be December 31st.
A decision has yet again been delayed in the public search for accountability and truth in the July 8th fatal shooting of a man by a Fargo police officer. For months, members of the Police Advisory and Oversight Board, as well as the Human Rights Commission, have been pushing for an external investigation to be done on the shooting that left 28-year-old Shane Netterville dead. But a letter has yet to be approved to be sent to make that request.
Why are we circling back and forth with this case? What is going on? Is there anything we need to know? I am really confused, and I would like some honesty in this.
City of Fargo attorney Nancy Morris urged the board to look further into if there's a, quote, pattern in practice of behavior with the Fargo Police Department that would warrant an investigation from the DOJ. The topic of an independent review is expected to be revisited at the Police Advisory and Oversight Board meeting December 8th at 5 p.m.
Some big changes may be on the way for Yunker Farm in Fargo after the closing of their children's museum. The Fargo Park District is now gathering information about what people think should happen with that space next. The director, the past 23 years, says the closing was brought on by COVID-19. The pandemic really slowed things up. However, people did have the chance tonight to bring their ideas to the table at a meeting at Broadway Station. Nothing set in stone yet, but organizers plan to create a master plan to help guide future decisions and capital improvements within the park. North Dakota's gun deer season is set to end this Sunday.
And with all the winter weather we've seen, especially on the western side of the state, we might see a large number of tags going unfilled. However, some state officials are more optimistic, saying in the end, the numbers might balance out.
So most of the deer are shot that first weekend, actually. And the first weekend, we think back, it wasn't like beautiful weather, but we didn't have snow on the ground and it was cold. And so we look back to that. That's when most of the hunters are out and we do get the most of the harvest.
North Dakota Game and Fish says it'll be a few weeks until they have any idea on how many deer tags were filled this year. The average success rate is around 70%.
Winter weather